You're not good enough, and it's just a matter of time before everybody figures that out. So a funny thing happened the other day. I met a guitar player who I've admired for years, and he told me, "Oh, Sammy G, I watch your videos, man. I love what you do." And I'd love to tell you that my inner monologue was, "Wow, this is so cool. This is what I've always dreamed of. What a great experience." In reality, it was more along the lines of, he doesn't believe that. He's just saying that to be nice. You have no business being in the same room as this guy. He's an actual guitar player. Oh, thank you, man. Nice to meet you. And I hate to admit it, but more often than not, part of me is thinking this kind of thing in these types of situations. And apparently, there's a term for this. Imposter syndrome. The subjective experience of perceived self-doubt in one's abilities and accomplishments compared with others, despite evidence to suggest the contrary. All right, check this out. I just finished a free ebook that outlines all the information that every intermediate guitar player really should know. Basic theory, major scales, minor scales, pentatonics, triads, 4-note chords, how to play this stuff, and why it sounds good. If you have any concerns about the information that you should know, or you feel like you just need to fill in a couple gaps, hit the link in the description and grab that PDF. Anyways, let's get back to it. And so the more that I thought about imposter syndrome, the more that I wondered if my friends and colleagues also experience this.
Have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome?
Always.
Yeah?
Always, yeah.
Tell me about your relationship with that.
Oh, man. Especially when people would see the recording process of a video, they're going to be like, oh, wait, it's not just you sit down and you do one take like from the top of your head and everything is perfect all the time. That's not how it goes.
All right, so Paul is getting to the heart of one of my biggest insecurities. Like, I know what I'm about to play is gonna sound pretty good. Here's the thing, not everything on social media is as it appears. See, for that solo, I carefully crafted it, I recorded countless takes. If there's anything I didn't like, I touched it up, set up the camera, relearned my part, and play along. And this is the workflow I'll use 90% of the time. This is what's required in order to get you guys the content at a speed and quality that I'm proud of. There's a bit of studio and movie magic at play here, and because of that, I feel like everyone might think I'm a better guitar player than I actually am. And so I'm gonna do something that I'm not sure I've ever done. It completely terrifies me, but there's another section of that backing track that I've never soloed over. I'm gonna show you guys my first playthrough over top of that. You're not good enough, and everyone's about to figure that out. Wish me luck. That's actually pretty good.
I have imposter syndrome with pretty much everything that I do, whether it's guitar, YouTube, making YouTube videos still, music, like making my own music. I think for me, it's more about like the people that I look up to. It seems like creativity comes so easily to them and creative ideas. I mean, you know, people like that. Whether it's a musician or a content creator or whatever, where they just do stuff and you're like, God, that's cool. I would never think of doing that.
Now, I've known Rhett for a while now. He is such a good dude. I'm lucky to consider him a real friend. But hearing him say that stuff, I kind of just want to tell him, what are you talking about? I do this to you. I watch your videos and I feel like garbage because I feel like I can't do this job as well as you do it. I've heard you play. You have no business feeling like that. You got to flip it around. I'm the one who isn't good enough. Oh, shit. Do we all feel like this?
Tim, have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome in your life?
If you don't know, this is Tim Pierce. He is one of the most successful session guitarists. He's played on everything, and he crushes it on YouTube too. He can't possibly have ever felt he wasn't good enough. Could he?
In many ways, it's the story of my life, because my history of guitar education was literally 2 years, from age 12 to 14, 1/2 hour a week. A city like LA, it's not local, it's not regional, it's not national, it's international. Like the best keyboard player from Paris moves here. The best composer from London moves here. So I was here with very little education, a lot of heart, a lot of drive, a lot of motivation, but I was basically self-taught, and I knew a little bit of theory and enough to get me around simple music. So I was always showing up in the room feeling like an imposter. It's something I've lived with my whole life, and it's nothing to be afraid of. Everybody feels it somewhat, and it's just something that's part of the equation.
And hearing a guy like Tim talk about this, it makes me realize that I will probably have that ugly voice in my head somewhere as long as I play guitar. But if someone can have as much success as a guy like Tim has had while also feeling like he didn't always belong, well, maybe it's not the worst thing to feel. You know, it's funny, I didn't always deal with the imposter thing. When I was a beginner, I sucked. I knew I sucked. That's all there was to it. As I crept into the intermediate stage, it still wasn't there. Mostly because I naively thought that I had figured it all out. It's like, imagine you're going mountain climbing and you think you're about to reach the summit without realizing you're actually walking up a foothill and the real mountain is about to come into view. That's where I was at as an intermediate. And wouldn't it be nice to get back to that level of confidence I had when I was 15? But it turns out learning a pentatonic scale and a couple chords isn't actually mastering guitar. But I stuck with it, and you'd think that the better you get, the more that negative voice goes away, right? And wouldn't that be nice? But the more skilled you are, the more aware you become of your shortcomings, and the more you can appreciate the brilliance in other musicians. And maybe this is it. Maybe this is the great irony here, is that the only people who deal with imposter syndrome are the ones who aren't actually imposters. I've come to realize that everybody kind of strikes the same deal with that voice in their head that tells them that they're not good enough and that they don't belong. We will always hold our heroes on a pedestal. We'll always compare ourselves against them and come up short. But at some point, you also accept that there is something unique that we all can do that we can be proud of.
I've realized that a lot of players that I admire aren't good at other things. So we all have our own strength. Like, some amazing players do one thing super, super good, and I respect them for this, and they suck at another thing. It's fine, no one cares. It's about what you do, what you're good at, not at the things you're not good at.
I think I'm pretty happy with where I'm at as a guitar player. There's things I'd like to improve on and get better at, but overall I think I can do most of the things that I want to do, and I can sound the way that I want to sound for what I want to do. So yeah.
Once you realize that you can be yourself, even if you want to be these other people, and it's kind of heartbreaking sometimes to realize, well, I'll never play that fast. It's okay, because the world really likes simple things, and you can tell your story really, really simply. So it works.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Those are some thoughts on imposter syndrome. I guess if you also deal with this, then just know that you're not alone. And remember, you can download my free ebook, The Samurai Guitar Theory Reference Guide, if you use the link in the description. In that book, I've kind of compiled the things that I think every intermediate guitar player needs to know. And you can pick that up completely for free and use the link down there. Until next time, thank you all for watching. Look after yourselves. Like, really make an effort to look after yourselves. Look after each other, look after the planet. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I'll see you again soon.